Hi, my name is Caitlin, and welcome back to my channel. I'm a writer, and here I just discuss my writing journey and bring you guys along for the ride. In this week's video, I set myself the goal of living like I am already a full-time author. And to me, since I don't have that experience yet, I wanted to give myself the goal of treating writing like it's my full-time job. So to me, that means committing myself to writing for 40 hours a week. So last week, I actually tried to write 20 hours a week. That was my goal. And so it was easy-ish for me to hit 4 hours of writing a day from Monday through Friday. And that went really well. So this week I want to challenge myself with doubling those hours so that I can hit 40 hours of writing per week consistently. And I want to vlog how that first week of 40 hours of writing a week is going to go. Today is Monday, September 23rd, and it's currently 4:30, almost 5 p.m., where I will be ending my work days, just because I want to give myself a very clear boundary between work-life balance, because even though I am pursuing my dreams of being a fiction author and I want to, work as hard as I can during my 1 year of writing full time, I still want to prevent myself from burning out and give myself the space and energy to fully enjoy my time that I'm writing, because otherwise it would defeat the purpose of why I'm pursuing writing versus a more corporate job or career. And to me, that means giving myself the time to rest, do physical activity, nourish my body, and have social time with my family, friends, and loved ones. Because I think that balance in my life is what is going to help me separate my writing from my identity, so that I'm not hinging all of my self-worth and confidence on how well or not well my writing is going. Like today. So yeah, because I gave myself the goal of writing 40 hours a week, that would mean that I'm trying to write 8 hours a day from Monday through Friday. And how I want to do that is split up my writing blocks into 4 hours in the morning and then 4 hours in the afternoon. To me, that means waking up at 6 every day, having my morning routine, so 2 hours in the morning from 6 to 8 to do some exercise, eat some breakfast, journal, meditate, do all of that good stuff that'll set myself up to be in a good mental space for the rest of the day. And then from 8 until 12, have one writing block fully done. Take a 1 hour break from 12 to 1 to eat lunch, spend some quality time with friends and family. And then from 1 until 5, get in my second writing block. And then once it hits 5, completely stop working. And then after that, it's just time for relaxation, socializing, anything that is fun and is strictly not work related is for after 5, just because I want to enforce those boundaries with myself. This is mostly to prevent burnout. Yeah, so I wanted to give an update on how today is going, Monday, because like I said, that schedule that I gave myself is for an ideal day, and already today did not start out on the most ideal foot. I had some errands I had to help out with in the morning, and so that already prevented me from doing my morning writing block. Even though I woke up at 6 and got a little bit of writing done before I had to go, I ended up getting dim sum with my dad, and yeah, I had other stuff I had to do. So already my morning block was gone, and by the time I came back, it was 12. So I've been writing since then, and I have to admit, I have been having a rough start. I thought that since I had my outline ready, it would really help me just get back into writing. Yeah, today was really, really hard. It took me a really long time to get a sense of what I wanted to write. And yeah, now my brain is just really tired. I got in a good maybe 400-ish, 400 to 500 words, which is okay. But my goal for this week is just to attempt to write 40 hours in the week. I'm going to see how realistic that really is. And also to just have chapter 1 of Project Paradise fully done. Yeah, right now I have like 3 paragraphs written. We'll see how this goes during the rest of the week. Hi, it is currently the morning of Tuesday, September 24th, and I'm ready to start a fresh day of writing. So my goal for today is to write 8 hours and to get a good chunk of chapter 1 in. Last night I did some brainstorming before I went to sleep, so I have a rough idea of the direction I want to take chapter 1 in. So even though I have my outline, I still don't have all the details of each chapter, so I'm going to tackle each of those when they come up. And I feel like chapter 1 always has so much pressure for me because you're trying to introduce the character and the world in a way that is really engaging and intriguing to the reader right away. So yeah, that's my task for today. Hi, it's currently 5 p.m. on Tuesday, and I managed to clock in at 6 hours of writing time today, and I managed to get down around 500 words. It's not the most, but I feel happy with this writing session because I feel like I was able to break through the small writer's block that I was experiencing yesterday. And I was starting to get more into the flow and just feel out the world more. I feel like once I took away the pressure that or the expectations that I was putting on myself for having a really strong opening page, I was able to have more fun with it and just really get into my main character's voice. I hope to continue this tomorrow, although I do have to run some errands in the morning, so I probably, like Monday, won't be able to get the full 8 hours in. It'll probably only be my afternoon writing block, but hopefully those 4 hours in the afternoon will give me a lot of deep focus. Hi, it's currently Wednesday afternoon, so I finished up my morning errands, and I actually did manage to get in a good hour of writing time in the morning, which I hadn't anticipated. But during that time, I spontaneously added in a whole new character because I realized that there were a lot of holes that needed to be filled. And so I felt like this addition of this new character helped solve a bunch of things in those holes. Also, I just really felt drawn to her character, so I'll show you guys a little sneak peek of that. I think I'm gonna do a whole new video about creating my characters, because in the last video where I was talking about plotting and I used the Save the Cat Writes the Novel beat sheet, I kind of didn't really do any character work because at that point I thought that the cast of characters was going to be very small, and because it felt so self-contained, I was like, oh yeah, it's very obvious, like they need to do these things. I don't need to think too much about their motivations or personalities because there are only going to be a very small number of people that are important to the story. So I didn't feel like it was necessary for me to think too deeply about their differences or similarities and how compatible they are and all these different things. But now that I'm getting into the scenes and actually writing them, I realize maybe I should do that character work. So yeah, I think I'm going to spend my afternoon writing block for today just working on the characters. So I'm probably going to record that whole process too in a separate video, just so I can show you guys my process and yeah, the ideas that are going around in my head for these specific characters. Yeah, I really wanted to write a character inspired by the Chinese goddess, deity, sea deity goddess, Matsu. So that is who she's going to be inspired by. This new character is going to be the Chinese sea goddess Matsu. So I really like her character so far, and I think her addition was very much necessary in my eyes. I'm saying this now as an afterthought, but I like the addition of this character because I did need to introduce this aspect of the world at some point. And in my earlier idea of what the story is going to be like, so literally like just yesterday, or just the whole outline I had before, it didn't really focus on this aspect of the world at all. It was completely contained to this one little island area, I'm going to say, in the world, and it didn't incorporate the whole. Okay, now that I'm saying this though, I feel like this is really see, I'm doing this again where I get way too ahead of myself and I start combining all the ideas I have. And then this is why I stop, because it gets too big for me because I'm adding in all these different elements, because I'm just like, wow, that would be so cool if I combine, like, oh, it all makes so much sense. These pieces are all fitting together. This is why I had that idea, because this explains that. And then I start putting all these ideas together, and then it starts getting so overwhelming that I'm like, okay, maybe this very simple story idea is now so complex and I need to go back and outline, and that's, yeah, it's a very vicious cycle I've been stuck in. Okay, so maybe, see, is this self-sabotage? Where I'm making headway, I'm trying to write chapter 1, and then I'm like, oh no, maybe I need to do character work. So I'm going to spend the afternoon looking at their MBTI personalities. Is that self-sabotage? Am I standing in my own way? Or is this necessary work that will benefit the story? Because I like plotting, I like planning, but then, yeah, there's a point where there's too much planning and the planning is getting in the way of the actual action. So what to do? Okay, you know what? Now that I recognize that this is a pattern I'm probably repeating, I'm going to give myself 30 minutes tops to do this character work. Just because I do think it'll be beneficial to add this new character. She's fun, she's cute, and she's going to make an appearance in the next novels anyway. That was what I was envisioning. No idea how she'll fit into the other narratives, but it doesn't really matter. I like her. I know she'll find some purpose, some role. But yeah, that's where my head is at. Today, on Wednesday, this is day 3. I have until Friday to try to fit in these 40 hours. And so far, it's not really happening. I'm in the middle of the week and I've written maybe like 1,000 words, which is fine. Yeah, but I definitely want to spend more time in this week actually writing, because that's what I've been saying this entire time. Like, I just want to write, and yet I'm not spending that time writing. So this reminds me of another video I was watching. I think it was Esme's video on characters and making them do things. I'll link that somewhere, but she was talking about at the end of that video, like, incorporating what the character thinks they want versus what they actually really need or want. And I think that's such a good idea because I see this happening with myself right now. Like I'm telling myself, I'm thinking consciously where I'm like, I want to write. And yet, if I look at what I'm doing, am I doing that? I don't know. Half of the time when I'm writing, I'm just lost in daydreams. Like I'm looking out my window. I'm like really getting into their emotions. But I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm imagining these scenes, but I'm not actually writing them down. So does that count? I don't really know. I hope it I hope it does. I really hope it's helping me out. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to do some character work, try to get down a good amount of words and have a good time, and I'll update you on how it's going later. Hi, it's currently 5 p.m. and I just finished up my afternoon writing block for Wednesday. I got in around 400 words on the actual manuscript itself for chapter 1, and I did do some character work, which was really fun, and I got to do more of like a deep dive into their personalities. It was a lot of looking at Pinterest, I have to admit. So there was a good amount of time was lost on that. But I'm happy I did get to go back into chapter 1 and play around a little bit with what my main character is doing right now. She's about to meet the new character that I mentioned before, that I just decided why not? She should have a moment on the page. But it all sprung from this one dialogue in my mind that I wanted this new character to say, kind of about women and heroism, and how a lot of times I noticed that to become heroes, women have to martyr themselves. Like there's so much sacrifice involved for women to be considered heroes, whereas I don't feel like that's true for men. Like they don't have to give up their lives to be worshipped. But yeah, that's a whole other thing. I have no idea if the scene I'm about to write, so I haven't even written it yet, but I want to work on it tomorrow. Also, I don't know if I'll even get to it, but just because the whole inspiration of that conversation came in the moment, and then I did some deep dive work on characters and got sidetracked on a bunch of like Taoist magic. So I kind of lost that thread of inspiration, and I don't know if I'll get it back tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But yeah, I really have no idea if this scene will even make it into the draft at all. But after today, I've kind of relinquished control, and I'm just going to accept that as of right now, nothing will make sense. I should just try to write it all anyways, even if I end up deleting everything that I'm writing right now. Perfectly fine. I'm just going to accept that this outline might not go as planned, because yes, I have all the major plot points that I want to hit, but I don't know any of the details in each of those chapters that I've outlined. So while I'm discovering all of the details in those plot points, a lot of things are changing along the way. And yeah, my brain is kind of falling apart as I do this, but that's the fun part, right? Putting all the pieces back together and making it make sense later. Keyword is later. Right now, I'm just going to try my best to keep going. Yeah, I think starting is always a lot harder just because when you have so much left to do, it can be kind of intimidating. So I'm trying to switch my mindset to think of it more positively, as in, okay, there is so much blank space, but that also means that I'm free to explore any angle, any route possible, because right now so little is written. I'm trying to see it as an opportunity as opposed to something to be scared of. I'll update you guys tomorrow on how the writing session tomorrow goes. Yeah, so tomorrow I will have my full 8 hours. So I'm going to set the intention to try to only write for those full 8 hours, and not worry too much about the plot or things making sense or anything like that. I'm just going to try to, I'm going to give myself a word count goal to hit this time, just because I've been going without a word count goal for the past 3 days. And while I have gotten some writing done, it's not as much as I would like. I get so easily distracted on really random things. Like when I was working on the character stuff, I told myself I was only going to do 30 minutes of it. And at first that was true, but then I took a lunch break and I came back and I just started researching like the MBTI characters compatibility. And I was just like going down a deep rabbit hole on Reddit and Reddit threads about my character's MBTI personality types relationships, just because I wanted to see what that looks like based on real people's experiences and see like, do these two personalities actually match in real life, or is this just some abstract idea that 16personalities.com decides is a good match, if that makes any sense? So yeah, I was doing a bunch of random reading. It was really interesting and a fun activity, but I do want to try to get more writing done. So I'm thinking maybe I need to do like divide my time up better. Maybe the mornings are purely for writing, and then maybe the afternoons would be for more like research based things. Yeah, I need to figure out a routine that works well for me, because right now I'm still figuring it out. But you know what? Having a lot of fun and progress is being made. So that's the most important thing. Good morning. It is currently Thursday at 8 a.m. and I'm very excited for today because this is my only full day of the week that I'm going to have all 8 hours to write. So today I'm going to give myself the goal of trying to write 3,000 words and to finish the first chapter. Whatever that looks like, I don't care. That's just the goal for today. Because I realized that yesterday I said I was going to give myself a concrete word count to try to reach, and then I never decided on that word count. So right now, it's actually 9. I've been writing for an hour before this, but I'm going to try to get 3,000 words today. Wish me luck. Hi, it's currently 5, and I feel really proud of this writing session. I feel like I accomplished a lot today. That's my dog in the background. But yeah, so I didn't hit 3,000 words, but I got really close with 2,600. Hold on a sec. Okay, anyway, I felt really good with this writing session. I feel like I got the most writing done out of any day this week, and I hit 2,662 words in chapter 1 right now, which I'm happy with. That is much closer to the goal than I was yesterday, so that's really good. And I found that what helped me a lot actually was watching old live stream videos that other author tubers have posted on their YouTubes. I felt this was really helpful for me because while they were streaming, they had the Pomodoro timer on. So I was just able to follow along with that timer. While I had that in the background, it made me feel like other people were writing with me. You know, seeing them really focus in deep focus mode helped me channel that energy into this writing session. It was really productive. Honestly, it was really fun. Like I felt like I was on FaceTime or I was just, watching the stream while it was live. I think I'm going to definitely hit 3,000 words in the document tomorrow. So that means that I'll have hit 3,000 words for chapter 1 in the first week of trying to do this 40 hours a week of writing challenge. Hi, welcome back. It's currently Friday. Okay, first of all, cheers. You guys have to try this. Maybe I need to start a second channel for Caitlin's cocktails, because that is definitely the better way to drink Toki as opposed to like an old fashioned, which is what I tried before. But this is, yeah, Toki orange highball. I wanted to try like a yuzu Toki highball, but we don't have any of that. And because I don't have soda, club soda or whatever, that's why I just use the orange sparkling water, but make do with what we got. Speaking of that, I was actually planning to go on a very cute, wholesome artist date to the lake. I was going to make a little picnic, paint by the lake, but it decided to rain today, and I'm not about to go outside in this weather. So instead, I thought I would switch gears and do a little paint and sip. Yes, it is 2 p.m. on Saturday. How I went from wholesome picnic to drinking at 2 p.m. It's the rain's fault. It's not my fault. Anyway, blame the rain. All right. Anyway, yeah, so I thought it'd be fun for me to do a little painting activity, just to do something creative that doesn't center around writing, because I feel like a lot of times writers tend to get very caught up in their identity of writing. But you know what? I think if you're a writer, that just means you're a very creative person, and it probably means that you have other talents. You have other creative talents besides writing, whether it's painting, dancing, drawing. I don't know. Maybe it's a sport. Who knows? But I encourage everyone out there to go and explore your other hobbies, if you're a writer, that is other than writing, so that you can get a creative release that doesn't come with all of this weight of the expectations that you place on yourself when you write, because I really caught myself doing this yesterday. So yeah, if you notice, I didn't finish vlogging from yesterday, and that's because I sat down to write and I just started getting really anxious. And I feel like that was a moment of growth for me, because I recognized that maybe I need a break, just because I've been pushing myself a bit this week. And I'm happy I was able to recognize that this is a point where maybe I need to take a step back and just slow things down. And so that's what I'm here to do today. I'm here to reflect on the week, see what went really well, what could be improved for next week, and yeah, just take some time to celebrate the progress that I've been making that this week that aren't very much result based, because yeah, I think it can be kind of harmful to focus so much on word counts or views or anything that's number based. I think is very harmful in a sense to creativity when you're giving those metrics any kind of power over you. So yes, having a goal to work towards is obviously very fun for people. Well, for me, it's fun for me. I like overcoming challenges and goals and being able to know that I did something that I set myself out to do. But at the same time, I think there's a very fine line between working towards your goals and also kind of becoming so consumed in the pursuit of that you lose sight of the rest of yourself. That is why I have a very firm, no writing or no work related things on the weekend. Even though I think I could push myself to write more on the weekends, I don't want to, just because I don't want to become resentful towards my creativity for making me feel like I'm obligated to do something. Ultimately, this is about enjoyment. So I write because I enjoy it, and I want to keep that kind of energy in this space that I have for writing. And I think branching out into other creative pursuits is a really great way of doing that. So that's why I'm going to take you guys along with me as I do this. And yeah, I think I want to paint something from my Pinterest board for my novel that I'm working on right now, just to help me have a visual representation that I can maybe pin on my window or somewhere around in my room. Like, I could probably put this next painting right here. I also have space on the other wall that I think I could fill it up. But I really like painting as just a little side hobby. I'm not very good. I'm not an artist. I'm not trained. I've not taken painting classes or anything. But this is just, you guys get to see me be bad at something if it makes you feel better. So yeah, because also art does not need to be good in order for it to be important. Like, I enjoy making it. It doesn't matter if it's objectively good or not. So anyway, I'll show you the end result anyway, just so you get an idea of the kind of vibe I'm going for with this next novel that I'm working on, which, if you didn't already know, is going to be a sapphic Demeter, Persephone, Hades retelling. I was trying to go between a few different pictures. Maybe I'll show here. There was a few options that I was contemplating doing, but I'm gonna select whatever one I have the most paint colors for, because honestly, I don't think these colors are matching the vibe I'm going for. There's like a lot of pastels and stuff in here, and I was going for more of like a dark red, black, scary theme, you know? Fall stuff. Pastels were, that was my summer painting. That was my spring painting. I need to go shopping. I actually had different paints planned for this, and I opened them up and they were all moldy. I had to toss the whole thing. Okay, anyway, let's get into it. So I realized as soon as I went to put the paint that I literally only have red and black out of the colors I actually really want. So that eliminates a bunch of paintings that I was going to do. And I'm just going to do one that is like kind of related to the Pinterest board, but also not really. So it's completely unrelated to this book project that I was talking about, which is fine. I can do a simple painting. Because originally when I had this idea for vlogging this week, I wanted to do something cute at the end, just to like celebrate. Or actually, I thought of this midway during the week, because I started out vlogging this week not really knowing where this vlog was going to go. Like, I had no idea what direction I was taking this in. I was like, I'm just gonna take a few videos. I don't know how this is gonna work out. The week started out a little rough, I feel like, just because trying to fit in 40 hours of writing, going from 20 to 40 was a lot more difficult than I expected. I don't know why. I thought it was going to be really easy just because the 20 hours was so easy and so intuitive. I was like, oh yeah, like the increase from 20 hours to 40 hours a week is going to be, it's going to be really nice, and I'm going to feel more productive, and I'm going to get double the writing done, and it's going to be great. And you know what? While it was great, I loved it. I also think that I had a lot of expectations for the writing, and I think I'm not at that level yet where I should be letting the expectations dictate how I feel about my first draft. And I think it was really affecting me towards the end of the week, where I was like, oh yeah, it's not sounding, or it's not coming out how I thought it would come out. I think I need to just let that be. Like, I need to let it exist as its kind of own thing that's separate from what I want it to be, because it should be allowed to exist as it is right now, and I always tinker and change it later, but it's too early. It's way too early. Anyway, I just wanted to celebrate the end of week 1 of aspiring to live like a full-time author. I'm also really proud of the fact that I even started this channel, because I think I've always been interested in starting a YouTube channel, but I never worked up the courage to really commit while it's still early on. Like, I think I started this channel a week ago, so it's been a week. I'm still really happy. A week is the longest that I've been on YouTube. So, yay. So instead of like the little cake moment I was gonna have, I have this and I have my drink. It's fine. I think I also wanted to celebrate 1 week of attempting to write full time, just because I want to recognize how difficult and long this journey actually is. Because I think if I saved celebrating just for when I actually publish a book or when I win an award or whatever those big milestones are that everyone else would expect of an author, if I just celebrated those moments, that's only like 1% of the actual time that I'm writing or like my life as a writer. I just don't want to live that way. Like I want to be able to celebrate every little milestone, even if it's just an ordinary week of me attempting to write chapter 1 of a new project, right? Like I still want to be able to look back on that week and be like, wow, I'm really proud of myself. That was a really good week and I made a lot of progress. Even if it doesn't seem like that to anyone else, to me, it feels like a lot of progress just because, yeah, the fact that I committed myself and started a channel on a whim, like, I think that's something that I should make myself a highball for. Honestly, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. Your support means a lot to me. I'm curious to know how you guys are feeling about your works in progress if you're a writer. I also have exciting news. I think I'm going to start doing some new stuff on this channel so that you guys can write with me. We'll see when I confirm this, but I definitely want to hold myself accountable in actually writing as much as I say I want to. I think I'm going to end the vlog here just because I committed myself to this solo date. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take you guys on more solo dates with me. The reason I do this is just because I need a sacred time just for me to spend quality time with myself. I feel like it really helps me show up better in every other areas of my life. I also think it helps my creativity when I allow myself to just have fun and do things that I did when I was a kid, tend to all the other needs I have that aren't related to work or writing. But I think I'm going to cut the vlogging here just because I think it defeats the purpose of me having a solo date if I'm also vlogging. Like I want to be fully present in the moment. I'm still new with the camera. Like it doesn't come very natural to me to have this watching me. Like, why are you looking at me? So I'm going to do this the rest by myself. But honestly, thank you so much for following along and accompanying me this week. I've had a really fun time. I did not finish chapter 1, but I made good progress. I think 3,000 words almost 3,000 words is really good considering I had like 0 words on the page when this week started. So I'm really happy. And I think going forward for the next week, I'm going to try to let's be ambitious. I'm going to say 10,000 words by the end of next week. And I'm definitely going to keep trying to hit the 40-hour mark. I think this week I hit it was honestly probably closer to 25 hours. If I'm being generous. Because yesterday, I didn't even tell you. Yesterday, I sat down on the desk and I just could not do it. So I ended up just going golfing. Sometimes you need to smack a ball. You just need to whack it with all your might and you're going to feel a lot better. I promise. Try it out. Let me know how that goes for you. And I'll see you next week.